Hello guys, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel, Ben's Journey. Yeah, my name is Ben, nice to meet you all. And the subject of today's video will be about should you do femur or tibia lengthening if you want to do only one segment of surgery on your body. So the first thing that people think about when they want to get limb lengthening surgery is if they want to do it on the femur or the tibia. On the femur you can lengthen more, and on the tibia it's usually a little bit cheaper. So each one of them has its own benefits. Now the first thing you want to look at is your proportion. If you see that your tibia and femur are pretty close in size, that means that your tibia to femur ratio is pretty similar. They are about the same length, which usually the tibia will always be shorter, but sometimes if they are really close in length, you probably should go on the femur, because if your tibia would be the same length as your femur or even longer than that, it will look weird, and it might also make you function worse when you walk and do everyday stuff. Now, if your tibia is much shorter than your femur, maybe you should go and do it on the tibia if you're gonna do only one segment, even if it's less amount of height that you can add to yourself. Now, another thing is your goal. If your goal is anywhere between 4 to 6 centimeters, the tibia is a pretty safe place to do it. Usually doctors will recommend to get until 5 centimeters, but you can reach 6 like I did. And on the femur, on the other hand, you can get anywhere between 7 to even 10 centimeters if you try to really push it. So if you got a really ambitious goal, maybe you should go and do it on the femur, but you should really think about your proportion. If your tibia is already very short and your femur will be very long compared to it, it might look a little bit weird. Usually femur is a little bit more expensive, both in the surgery price and also the time that you need to spend in hotel and do physiotherapy is usually longer, because if you lengthen more, then you need more days of lengthening. Because if you grow 1 millimeter a day and you want to reach 8 centimeters, you will need at least 80 to 90 days of lengthening just to get to the goal. Now, if you do tibia and you want to get only 5 to 6 centimeters, you probably need anywhere between 60 to 70 days, and that's it, and then you can probably go home. And especially if you go to do it in another country which is not your country and you need to stay in a hotel, if you need to stay for a longer amount of time, it will cost you more money. Usually when you do tibia lengthening, your legs look longer than when you do femur lengthening. When the femur is a bit longer, it might look a bit more feminine. Now you can fix it with just working on your muscles. And when you lengthen the tibia, on the other hand, it can make your legs look really long, and it can make your legs appear longer to people, and they will assume that you are taller, which is a good thing. But you also need to be careful not to let your tibia be too skinny also when you also want to work on them. So at the end of the day, it's just a matter of goal, really. And if you care about your proportion, that's another thing to think about. But if you only care about height and getting taller, then you probably want to do it on the femur. And if you want to look more aesthetically pleasing maybe, then you should probably do it on the tibia. At least that's my opinion. You guys can tell me in the comments what you think, and you can even share the experience with me if you had it done already. That was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click the like button. I'll see you guys again in the next video.